How we doing, everybody? Matt Modi here with OddsJam, here to give you a betting preview of the Final Four matchup between Florida Atlantic and San Diego State. Just looking at these two teams as the Final Four matchup is crazy to me when you consider, obviously, none of these teams are known to be college basketball powerhouses. It's also really funny to think about it when you compare last year's Final Four. I'm sure you'll probably hear this everywhere over the course of the week, but last year's Final Four, one side we had Duke UNC, the other side we had Villanova Kansas, the ultimate blue-blooded Final Four. And then this year to have three teams that have never even made the Final Four, including both of these teams, Florida Atlantic and San Diego State, it's just crazy. Both teams have had an impressive run to the Final Four in their own right. Florida Atlantic literally almost lost their first game in the tournament. They played Memphis. They had the win on a buzzer beater off a pretty lucky Memphis turnover in the final seconds of that game. Granted, they did luck out in the second round going up against Fairleigh Dickinson as opposed to the one-seeded Purdue, but beat Tennessee in the Sweet 16, very impressive game. And I really was impressed with how composed Florida Atlantic was to beat Kansas State in the Elite Eight. You know, when Kansas State went up by 6 and late in the second half of that game, I thought that they were just going to kind of run out the score and win it, but props to Florida Atlantic, who came back and won. San Diego State, on the other side of it, also have had a pretty impressive run, obviously beating the number one team in the entire tournament, which was Alabama. And they came back from pretty far down in that game as well against Alabama. So pretty impressive run, and then beating Creighton in the Elite Eight matchup. A little bit controversial with the foul call at the end, but nonetheless, it was a foul. You just kind of hate to see it called in that moment, but it was a foul, so you can't be too mad. Regardless, pretty awesome matchup we have here. I love it when we have a scenario like this where it's two kind of lesser known teams like this. I think it creates just a really, really fun environment. Looking at the odds here, and I will say, the screen that you are currently looking at that I am on is completely free to access. So all you need to do is just go to oddsjam.com, hover over sports, click March Madness, and then obviously you want to click into the game that you're looking for. We are looking for Florida Atlantic versus San Diego State. And all the information you see on the screen here, you will see as well. And you can do exactly what I'm doing, line shop, look for value. So San Diego State is the slight favorite here, best offered on the money line at -125. As you can see here, you can find these -125 odds on a decent number of books. The most popular one being BetMGM, which I'm assuming everybody watching this uses BetMGM at -125. On the FAU side, they are best offered at +116 odds at BetRivers. Of course, when you are line shopping, you want to look and see where the sharp sportsbooks have something priced at, and then try to find value compared to those sharp sportsbooks. We're looking at Pinnacle, BetOnline, Bookmaker, and Circa as these sharp sportsbooks. Going to the spread, it's pretty split between San Diego State -1.5 versus San Diego State -2, which I thought was kind of interesting. So right off the bat, there's nothing that immediately jumps out as some value. For those of you that have been following me along on my YouTube channel, a lot of times when you're looking at these games, especially early in the week, which I'm doing, I'm recording this literally on Sunday, right after the games have finished. There's some sportsbook that has something mispriced. Not really the case here. With that said, I do kind of like the value we can get on Florida Atlantic +2. Now, this isn't a positive expected value bet, right? We're not beating the fair odds of these sharp sportsbooks. But when I'm doing my analysis and when I'm line shopping and looking at what we see here, Pinnacle has Florida Atlantic at +2, but they favor them at that number, right? They have the FAU side at -111, and they have the San Diego State side at -101. They have the FAU side as the more expensive number, the higher number, the more expensive outcome, which is Pinnacle telling you that they think that the more likely scenario here is that FAU covers the 2-point spread. Bookmaker, same thing. They have FAU at -115. They have San Diego State -105, favoring Florida Atlantic. Same thing with Circa. And then the fourth sharp sportsbook, BetOnline, has this spread priced at -1.5, so a half point better. Granted, they're still favoring San Diego State at that number, but that half point can be really valuable in the long run. So all in all, that's a long-winded way of me telling you that I like Florida Atlantic in this matchup. I think that the Florida Atlantic +2, the best value that you're going to find as of the time of my recording, based on where the sharp sportsbooks have this priced. So my official bet, Florida Atlantic +2, can get this at -110 at both Caesars and DraftKings. Obviously, two very popular books. And that's going to be it. So if you're tailing me on my FAU prediction, comment and let me know. That's it, though. So I appreciate everybody watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on social media at my Twitter handle you see on the screen here. And that's it. So appreciate you guys for watching, and have a good one.